Kia ora, Year 9. I've been asked to do a video on this today's work. I think it's a really interesting topic when you're trying to think of multiplying terms, especially when you've got ones that start okay, but they move on. I want to remind you in terms of algebra that algebra is always a generalization of number. So if we have something like 3 times 3, a fast way of writing that is 3 squared. Okay. Now that means that when we're timesing things, and we've got algebraic terms, a fast way of writing u times u is u squared. Likewise for n times n is n squared. With multiplication, now the order doesn't matter in the sense that when you're timesing, this could be 4 times 9y, it could be 9 times 4y, it could be any of those combinations. The idea is that you do the multiplication of the numbers, so that's 36, and then you'd multiply the variables. Now there's no variables with this 4, so it's just y by itself. All right, let's jump over to this example. You multiply the numbers, 3 times 6 is 18. V times, there's no v here, so I'm just going to put a v here, and then y times y is y squared. When you're doing these, you want to be thinking, I need to multiply the coefficients, the numbers in front, because in essence, that 3vy, 3 times v times y times 6 times y, I could write that in any order I want, which is because timesing or multiplication, the order doesn't matter. If you go 2 times 5 times 3, that's 30. 3 times 5 times 2, that's 30. 5 times 2 times 3, that's 30. It doesn't matter, the order is irrelevant. Okay, so in the same sense, we could reorganize this 3vy times 6y into 3 times 6 times v times y, which would become 18v and then y squared. Okay. When you get onto the ones with 3 letters, or it doesn't matter how many letters there are, if you're timesing it over and over again, that just means you've got that number, that letter to the power of the number of times you've timesed it by themselves. Okay, so if you've done it 6, 7, 8 times, they've written x times 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 how many times? You count how many of them has been multiplied together. It's that letter to the power of the number of times. In the same way, 3 times 3 is 3 squared, and 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 is 3 cubed. And if I had 4 3's, it would have been 3 to the power 4. That simplifies it. I'm going to look at the gold ones, and these are meant to be gold. They're not simple. They're not easy questions. They're meant to be tough because you've got division in there as well as multiplication. Now, we've got n to the power 3 divided by n to the power 3 on this one. That's 1. Anything divided by itself is 1. 3 divided by 3, that's 1. So in essence, you've got 3g squared n cubed times 1 over g. Because 3 divided by 3 disappears, n cubed divided by n cubed disappears, you've only got this g. So your whole answer ends up being 3g squared. Well, what's g squared divided by g? Think about numbers. 10 squared divided by 10, that's 10. 3 squared divided by 3, that's 3. G squared divided by g, that's g. So it becomes g n cubed power 3. Okay. When you've got these crazy ones, they're looking really scary. Just simplify as much as possible. What can you divide top and bottom by? Well, there's L to the power 4, L to the power 3. That would be dividing. I just imagine the question was just this, L to the power 4 divided by L to the power 3. That would be L times L times L times L over L times L times L. When you're dividing, all of these could be disappeared and you're just left with L. The reason I say that is because this L divided by that L is 1, this L divided by that L is 1, this L divided by that L is 1, you're only left with that 1L at the top. Okay, so that's 7LQ squared divided by 3L cubed Q squared would actually all simplify down to, well, 7 over 3. The L to the power 4 divided by L to the power 3 is L by itself. Q squared divided by Q squared is nothing. Is 1, sorry. Times 6L squared Q4. 7 times 6 is 42. 42 divided by 3 is 14. L times L to the power 3, 2 is L to the power 3, Q to the power 4. That would be your answer. I'd like to emphasize the bronze ones is what I'm expecting of every student in the class. I think we all can do these levels. Silver is some students, gold is meant to be for the extension. It is definitely extension. All right. If you've successfully done the bronze ones and you've got a number of these silver ones done, you're brilliant. You're onto it. You've got it. All right. If you only managed to get through the bronze ones, well done, Kapai. I'll put some Education Perfect up for anyone that wants extra help on these. But if you can understand the bronze concept, you're fine. All right. Have yourself a wonderful day, guys. Look after yourself.